Heights Bazaar. Or something like that, I think. Anyway, hey everybody, it's Ad the Red, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. So, now that I think I know how to say Heights Bazaar, Heightsberg, whatever, and Schaefer, not Schaffer, I'm an idiot, Dietrich, I was right the second time. Anyway, okay, destroy all humans. Oh, that's lovely. So, I assume that's blocked. And, yeah, that's okay. So, ladder. Okay. Quaint little place here. Oh. You step inside, and the squalor of the disused Juban tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Paul Amsel. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, light glinting off steel-rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord. Part deal maker, part information broker. One of the most well-connected men in Berlin. How fortunate for us. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Iger's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen. He swallows. Takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? Something in the vault security system got her while she was jacked in. It was over in an instant. The run was a setup. 1 minute she was cracked in the safe, the next she was on the ground screaming. That's a pretty bad way to put it. I've seen Monica hit black IC before. This was something worse. Glory nods, her motions robotic and spare. Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. Okay, yeah, that's right. Iger thrust a gloved finger into your chest. And this idiot stood by and let it happen. Let's see, brush your finger aside. That's bullshit, Iger. You weren't even in the room. Shoves her hand away. Poke me again, I dare you. Ignore it. Let it happen. She jacked in and she screamed and she seized. By the time we saw she was in trouble, it was already too late. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because you never bothered learning what to look for. Muscle contractions and micro tremors are good indicators of a Decker in distress. I'm assuming you didn't have anyone keeping an eye out for those. No. If you had, my friend wouldn't be lying dead in a basement. Oh, shove off, Iger. We were all on the lookout for physical security, Collie included. Throwing her under the bus isn't going to help anything. Under a bus is exactly where she belongs. Iger turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich. You know that. But you don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do it long enough and you're going to get burned. Iger turns her face back to you. Her focus back to you. Blech. If you had been paying attention, you'd have figured out all this on your own by now. You'd have known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Iger. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Iger pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's a fire in her eyes. How many seconds pass between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4? 5? You know how much damage biofeedback can do to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? Yeah, I'm not going for this one. Yeah, look, this won't... You don't have to answer that. Of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched. This is all your... That is enough! Amsel's voice comes out in a roar, and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Iger, you and Collie can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he'd let us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. This was supposed to be a milk run. Payback isn't the only reason why we need to find him. We saw something back there. Something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're all still in danger. He pauses, rubs his temples. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we're dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. Okay, the estate was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. Monica lived long enough to say a name. I can't pronounce that. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Yeah, that seems to be the most important detail here, I assume. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewing. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. Glory raises an eyebrow. Firewing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who disagree, but they never experience the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name... I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It's synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures, full of patience and guile. Firewing was not. I'm just going to... whatever. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Sounds like a lovely beast. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There was a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation and no end in sight. It was a horde that you cannot even begin to understand. I inserted an even. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually, the Firewing was brought down by a man named Dr. Agent Vauclair. Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course. But it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the Sox. This event was called the Dragonfall. Dun 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 dun! We have the eponymous Dragonfall. Safe at last in the Dragon's Wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. The Dragonfall is as important an event as you make it out to be. I'm surprised I've never heard of it. Those early years of the awakening were traumatic, Iger, not just on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Firewing is a bit of a historical trivia, nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Iger sweeps her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas as to why? Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Firewing has been dead and gone for 42 years. But there's one thing that I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself, takes a deep breath, and then slowly releases it. I will look into this, and I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? Yeah, that kind of... After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military green armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details of this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features I could look into? He was an older guy for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s, pretty old for an orc. And he had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, there may be medical records. That is something. I will see what I can find out. For some reason, saying the estate looking up front does not feel very important at all. I mean, it's kind of obvious that something else is going on there. This seems to be... Okay, whatever. That much is clear. Exactly! It wasn't a minor enterprise either. That facility took serious funds to build. And time. There was more to it than we saw. Places like that don't spring up overnight. All in secret, the owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? That is all we've got, I'm afraid. That's not much. Amsel nods. His face is drawn and haggard. To this extent, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something? Who paid for this run? You haven't said a thing about our client yet, Paul. You're holding out on us. Whoever sent us knew what we were walking into. We were set up. Yeah. You're holding out on us? Amsel shakes his head wearily. No, Kali, I'm not holding out. I am tired and I am frustrated, and I already miss Monica. He takes a moment. I did not think to mention our employer because I did not set up the job. Monica did. Well, his face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take this run, but she assured me it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who called himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause. Anything for the Flux state. He sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. It sounds like Green Winters is our best lead then, yeah. Yes, most definitely. It is clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's probably going to grab it. We need to chase him down before that happens. So we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. Any leads, and how do we find this guy? Yeah, how do we find this guy? There's a man here in the Kreutz Bazaar, a Turk named Altug. You know what? I'm not going to insult cultures by trying to pronounce things I'm not totally sure about. He owns a little soy cuff shop just in the way called Cafe. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. And you think he would know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I do not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altug and see what he knows about Green Winters. Pragmatic. It sounds like it's time to pay Altug a visit, or best to be cautious in our line of work. Yeah. Very well. Tell him I sent you. I'll do what I can to dig into the information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. Karma gain, 5. Game saved, karma gain 5, okay. Well then, they've all got speech, and a dog. Where's Dante? Okay. Dante. As you start toward the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Oh. Oh shit. Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy, we'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago. Turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop. Kept. He closes his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Yeah. Dante leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Collie. Amsel takes a ragged breath and releases it. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you're finished with Altug. Mein Freunden. With a little luck, he can get Freunden. With a little luck, he can help us locate Green Winters so we can get to the bottom of this. He stares at the floor. And now I think we should all take a moment. His lips tighten. For Monica. Yeah. And what the? It's darkened in here. Okay. So, do you have any new dialogue? Collie? Amsel appears. Okay, yeah. Nah. Then please, continue working. We need to find that man. Right. What about you? Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is traced with a network of faint scars, a legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obvious that the shaman you see today is a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there is still an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Kali, welcome. We've got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing, and you've got a fallen comrade to drink to. Take the bottle to Monica. Prost! Take the bottle, you go ahead and toast Monica. I'm drinking to revenge. Refuse. I don't drink, but I'll join you in saluting her memory. Refuse. You drink to Monica, I have a job to focus on. Yeah, that seems fitting right about now. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it, you catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. It tastes of sweet corn and walnuts with a lingering aftertaste of buttery toffee. You swallow a swig, and return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull on the bottle, then locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Kali. What made you choose to come to Berlin? What do you want to know? I had my reasons. I'd rather not talk about it. Nothing in particular. Leave. I don't have time for a conversation, Dietrich. Why are you curious? Monica told me that you moved here from the Rhein-Ruhr megaplex. It sounds like you'd been there for a good many years. Successful years at that. Leads a man to wonder why you packed up and moved here. Let's see. It was time for a change, that's all. Oh, come on, boss. Nobody moves to Berlin without a good reason. What's happening here in Berlin is special. I felt the need to be a part of it. Somebody does. You're looking at her. If you must know, I came back from Monica. Yeah, somebody does. You're looking at her. Dietrich shakes his head at you, a wry smile on his face. Alright, friend. You want to play Miss Mysterious, you go right ahead. I mean, it's bullshit and implies that you don't trust me. But if you want to be that way, I can't stop you. A member of my old team betrayed me. Let's go with that. And that a pisser. I can handle all sorts of things, but betrayal always makes me see red. Yeah, I know the feeling. I tried to make him answerable, but the bastard got away. Right there with you. I ventilated the son of a bitch before I left the Ruplex. I don't know how to... There were extenuating circumstances. If he didn't do what he did, his family would have paid the price. I ventilated him. I perforated him with lead projectiles. Dietrich raises the bottle and salute and then takes another swig. The bastard deserved no less. In your position, I'd have done the same thing. So after all this went down, you decided to bail out of the Ruplex and head to Berlin. Am I getting that right? It feels better to try and say it just than leave a blank there, but I'm so sorry. More or less, there wasn't much left for me in the Ruplex, and Monica made a hell of an offer. There was a bit more than that, but yeah, no offense, Dietrich, but I gotta run. Yeah, let's do that. Ah, yes, Monica. Dietrich raises his bottle again, then closes his eyes and takes a long drink. After the moment has passed, he returns his attention to you. It all comes back to our girl, doesn't it? So let me ask you, just what was your relationship with Monica, anyway? I know that you two knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. What do you want to know? We're treading into dangerously personal territory here. Are you always as inquisitive? Are you always as inquisitive? Yeah. I think I have a reason why. I know why he's kind of curious at this point, seeing as how what just happened. Yeah, I suppose. My life's an open book, so I guess I just sort of figured that everyone else's always will be too. So how about it? Want to fill me in? We were very close. No, we were friends. Right there with you, and privileged to say so. She was one of the best women I've ever known. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time and the bottle's almost empty. Thanks for taking the time to talk. For what it's worth, I'm happy you're here with us. Dietrich takes a final pull on the bottle, then tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. There we go. I was waiting for that. Rest in peace, Monica. We'll miss you, girl. Well, that was enlightening, I suppose.